ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हरि ओम। Welcome to another session of this book reading, the book, A Manual of Self Unfoldment. Initially, see, since we have just started, we are going a bit slow. Let's get the subject matter nicely understood. Because you must be wondering, 2 classes up and we have hardly reached the 10th or the 11th page. If we had to just sit and read, maybe we would have done faster. But the whole idea is to get to the subject matter, absorb the subject matter very well. The foundation has to be clear as to why we are studying so much about the experiences that an individual goes through. Because our world experience itself, the experience of the world itself depends on what we are made up of. And it is not just the physical body. We are not only interacting in this world, as we already saw, isn't it? That it's just not only the matter that the objects that we see and experience and it finishes there. The human being is a far more complex being. Then there are emotions involved, right? So maybe there is this sunrise or a sunset that's happening, which is common to all. All of us are watching that. Yet how each one perceives it will be different. So much about sunrise, more or less commonly everyone agrees beautiful. Some people who want to sleep a little late, and I mean they're not early wakers, morning people as we call them. Then even the sunrise is okay, good. I would have loved to sleep for a little while more. That is their attitude when they see the sunrise. And some of them will be, oh, look at that, isn't it? Same way, sunset. When the sun is setting, for some people it's all array of emotions, each one depending on what their experience has been like. So those feelings and the emotional response to every experience is very different. And then we are also made up with a lot of intellectual thoughts, ideas. There is the logic we apply. There is the reason we apply. We think differently depending on what we have studied, how we have reasoned our experiences. So all of this goes into making of an experience. So we need to understand. That's why so deeply we are reading and we are going into it. A little later, when we have understood the basics, you will see that it would be much faster. So kind of be patient right now, and we will look at it. Just one about the Guru Stotram, the third verse. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara. We chant it like Gurur Eva Param Brahma. It could be Gurur Eva or it could be Gurur Sakshat Param. Both are correct. So don't be worried if you're used to singing it differently. Guru is Sakshat Parabrahma is also correct. There is nothing wrong. When we say Eva, Guru alone is that one. That's all we are saying. It means the same. It doesn't mean anything different. Okay? So I just thought since there was a query, I said answer. So last time in my book, we stopped at page number 10, but I think in the new book, it is page number 11, whichever way, the paragraph that starts with, so then I must know the art of tuning these instruments properly so that through them I may have the proper experience of the world fully. So, tuning which of these, my total world of experience is made up of world of objects, world of feelings, emotions, and world of ideas. The various isms that are born. I'm a realist, I'm a pessimist, I'm an optimist, I am an idealist, and communism, idealism, all the other isms, capitalism, these are all ideas of the intellect of how a community should get together and function. So we have ideas about all of that. So my total field of experience, is made up of all this. Therefore, Gurudev says, so then I must know the art of tuning these instruments properly, because if these are not tuned in, it's going to show on my experience. Right? Like we took the example of the telescope. You take the telescope to a place where you can see the stars and the planets. Then you have to calibrate it with the right calculation and lens and everything. And then, lo and behold, you will see the moon and you'll say, wow, so beautiful. So all it required was the inner tuning. If the instrument is good, you'll be able to see with clarity. Scientists admit that the knowledge of the outer world is their strength. So too, the rishis declare that the knowledge of our inner content is necessary to live purposefully our life, and through that knowledge, we can come to establish the right relationship with the world spread all around us. We must have a healthy balance. We must have the right relationship. Then life is very smooth. In fact, it becomes very beautiful. But when we do not have, there is an imbalance here. Then we are suffering. It causes misery, frustration, disappointment, all of this. It requires an inner tuning. Let us for a moment consider what exactly the politician, the economist, and the scientist achieve in this world. Politicians order my relationship with the people around me. Economists regulate my relationship with the wealth in the country. And the scientists command my relationship with the phenomena that constitutes the world around me. Thus, everywhere, I'm being educated in how to relate myself with the world so that I may come to live harmoniously with the life in the community. In this, there are naturally two factors, the world and me. The happenings around me and the world that lies about me are not at present under my control. But in case I can reorganize myself, within myself, by myself, I may most probably gain a glorious and healthy harmony with the world in which I happen to live now. Isn't it true? Just logical, isn't it? Basic. The world outside is recognized and experienced by the individual, never as such, but only as interpreted by his own mind and intellect. To a scientist, the world is an expression of forces, just as to a lover, the world is full of music and poetry. But the same world is to another who is groveling under the tragedies and misfortunes, a burial ground full of sorrows and sobs. The objects remaining the same from man to man, his experiences are different since the experiencer is not merely the physical body. The very same objects which ordinarily give us joy would at an inappropriate time and place give us sorrow. Thus, we find that the world outside has a capacity to make us smile in joy or make us weep in sorrow only by reaching us through our own mind. As the mind, so the world. According to the constitution of our mind is our experience of the world. This we must underline in the book and understand this completely. Get it into our head. Because we usually complain, isn't it? It's easy to complain. Does it require special talent? Do you have to learn anything? Anybody and everybody can criticize and complain, isn't it? Look at the world outside. Look at this one. That one is to blame. You can keep on blaming the other one. Is that going to change anything? Ask yourself. And most of the time, we have very little control of the world outside us. So what is the point complaining? What is the point criticizing about things that are outside of us and not even under your control? Doesn't make sense, right? We must stop this habit, catch ourselves, and reiterate in our heads that as the mind, so the world. So if I am looking at this world and saying, how sorrowful, how pitiable, that's the way I'm looking at it. It's my mind which is interpreting things this way. Find out if everybody is going through the same. If it's a collective experience, then there is definitely a calamity that has happened. Right? When there is a natural disaster, when there is a war, there is anxiety. The collective response, and everybody responds together. That means there is some level of truth to it. Not otherwise, not all the time. Right? When we have this much understanding of the processes of perception and experience, it is easily evident that ours shall be a life of joy and perfection if our minds are so organized as to give us always an experience of equanimity and peace, irrespective of the pattern of life in which we find ourselves. Therefore, from the beginning to the end, the attempt in religion is to bring this balance to the mind. This is the balance that Bhagavan Krishna emphasizes in the Gita throughout the 18th chapter. Samatva buddhi, he calls it. Maintain samatvam. Samatvam is composure, equanimity. A certain balance. Do not get carried away with the waves that are throwing you, tossing you up here and there. And these phenomena, external phenomena, which you call happy or sorrowful, dukham, sukham, they come and go. Nothing has been permanent, isn't it? You were very happy yesterday. You won a match. You passed your exams with flying colors. What happens to that happiness after 2 days or 3 days, after a week? That's forgotten and you're looking at something else. Even that goes. Sad things come, happen, events happen. Then they also go. Nothing is permanent, you see. Why are we giving it so much life and reality? We should understand this. This is an experience, it's coming, it's going to go. Let me not lose my cool over this. Let me maintain my balance. Because isn't it true, friends, that we are all looking at equanimity, we are looking at peace of mind finally at the end of the day, in whatever it is that you're doing. Aren't you looking for this? I want some peace. I want to be happy. And how do you want to be happy? How do you want? How? You want that permanent peace, isn't it? It's not like the ceasefire, which is called, and you're never sure. Today it's peaceful, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's not that way. I want to be peaceful. When? Can we ration this out? Can we say Monday, every Monday, 2 hours you will get? No, 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 I want it every day. Where do you want it? At home or in office? No, I want it at home and in office. Wherever I am, I want to be at peace, isn't it? And now, what is Gurudev telling? It is under your control. So, if we have learned the technique to handle ourselves, something which is under our control, aren't we being masters of our own self? That's why masters tell us, if you can control your mind, you can control anything. This mind has to come under our control, and therefore we need to know how to handle it. What is the technique? Here Gurudev says right thinking. It's a power, it's a strength. We've all gone to school and universities and everywhere. They tell us what to study, what to think about. They give us so much information, and we are supposed to read all that and write about it and pass the exam. Has anybody taught us how to think? That we need to think? Or this is a valuable thing that makes this intellect that is given to us is very valuable. But how many of us make use of it, isn't it? So, right thinking apart. How then am I to work? How will I prepare for my performances in the world outside? How can my behavior, my daily contact in life be improved? Who amongst us does not wish to become something better than what we are? We lose our temper, sometimes even with our mother and father. And it's not that we are disloyal or disrespectful to them. But perhaps at home, no one takes you seriously. You start to despair. No one seems to understand me. I'm unhappy. 100 things disturb me. Emotions gurgle out. I make a mess of my life. I make myself a dirty, filthy, and ugly individual. I have no patience. What is in me that is repelling others? Right? These unwanted qualities are called negative qualities. These questions come to us sometimes, when we lose our temper or we do not know how to handle a situation. Oh, I should have done this. I didn't know how to handle it. I could have done better. All of us have this. We all go through this. So here Gurudev says these unwanted qualities are called negative qualities. The moment then we start, when I don't know how to handle, I start calling myself names. No, I'm an angry person. I'm a very negative person. And then I begin to show frustration. I begin to show despair. Then I don't like myself also because this is not what I want to be. This is not who I am. Right? Because I do not know how to handle it, I'm doing this. So these he calls negative qualities are immoral or unethical action. The modern psychologists call them negative ideas. When negative ideas are expressed in one's character, others get repelled from that person. If one can bring out into expression the fragrance of one's positive qualities, then people rush towards the individual, charmed by his beauty. And we must always try and enhance the positive within. Now, how? Because we know that such positive people are like others, isn't it? We also like to surround ourselves with positive people who can give us that strength. Hmm? It has been found true all over the world, whether it is in South Africa or New York, that people in whatever society, of whatever caste, creed, or color, are magnetically pulled by certain qualities. These qualities which attract others are called positive qualities. When I'm dealing with others, if I open out the sweetness of the qualities in my personality, I positively find that more and more people circle around me, love me, and are ready to support my creative growth. These positive qualities are there in all of us, lying dormant, but they are not invoked. It is not sufficient that we just know of these things. Every one of us know what is love, mercy, cheer, kindness, joy, and courage of conviction. We know that all these are noble virtues. We recognize them as the qualities we admire in others. We know it, but when we act compromising our ideals. And in case this is happening with us, then we must read further to find out. We have wonderful ideas, but the instrument of the mind is not available to us at this moment. Therefore, the great rishis and prophets, the glorious depth psychologists, declared that unless you can master the mind, unless you have control over the instrument of expression, you cannot translate ideas into action. Period. Sit. No? Failure in the world is never due to the lack of ideas. 1% of the population, perhaps, will be stupid from birth onwards in the whole of humanity. All the rest are bestowed with wonderful ideas, but when they put them into words, when they express themselves in the society, somehow or the other, they do it wrongly, and therefore they cannot win the battle and score. The mind is the instrument which translates into action the ideas and convictions which are already in the intellect. In our home, we learn from the teachers and books. From these, we get the bulk of our intellectual ideas. We understand and analyze them with our head. Still, whatever mass of knowledge we may acquire, we can be an utter failure in our life unless we can produce that knowledge in the outside world. In order to send it out into the world, we will have to direct the knowledge through our mind. Therefore, mental control, mental development, as the modern educationists say, is most important. The student who develops a certain amount of mind control is marked as one who will have the greatest success in life. This idea, developed throughout the ages of Hinduism, is called yoga. Disciplining the mind is called yoga, not that which is popularly called as yoga, sitting with folded legs, the nose held between two fingers. Actually, very many of us also think that yoga is all about standing on your head or doing some pranayama, with folded, and the more complicated the asana looks, the greater the yogi is what we think. No? Beautiful. What is said here? Disciplining the mind. The one who has greater mental power, mental control, and is looking at mental development. Now, these are the qualities that have to be nurtured right from school. In school, this must happen. Only then, as you grow, you are having a very healthy relationship with the world. You know what to make of the world. You know what you could go and achieve in this world. You can create a purpose for yourself, give it meaning. But most of us, we do not learn this technique. How is the mind to be disciplined? In order to discipline or to train the mind, we must first of all know what is the mind. There is no one who has no mind. Every activity of every person is only to satisfy the mind. The mind is the commander, the mind is the king. But now, what exactly is the mind? If the mind is happy, I am happy. If the mind is unhappy, I am unhappy. My entire life is dependent upon my mind. But how very few of us know it. It is not taught in the college. When we ask a question, what is the mind? An intelligent man will necessarily answer, mind is thought. Yes, mind is thought, but this is not a definition. Whenever there are thoughts, there is the mind. Whenever there is no thought, there is no mind. In the deep sleep, there are no thoughts, and therefore there is no mind. Without exception, thoughts and the mind are very much interrelated. If the thoughts are calm, the mind is calm. If the thoughts are agitated, the mind is agitated. If the thoughts are hopeful, the mind is hopeful. The mind is exactly as the thoughts in it. Between the thought and the mind, there is a relationship. Thought alone, however, is not the mind. The yogis of India discovered and declared that thoughts and mind have a relationship just as water and the river. Water by itself is not a river. A pool of water is not a. It is when waters are flowing continuously, then we have a river. A river is water flowing. When thoughts flow through us, there is the experience of the powerful equipment mind. Now, if the waters of the river are muddy, the river is called muddy. If the waters are clean, the river is clean. If the waters are fast, the river is fast. As the waters, so the river. As the thoughts, so the mind. If the thoughts are good, the mind is good. If the thoughts are bad, the mind is called bad. A man may have a beautiful body, a big car, $1 million. But if his mind is bad, he is bad. If the mind is good, the whole world is attracted towards him. Very simple, very clear, isn't it? There should be no doubt. Read these paragraphs, these 2 pages again. Why? Only then it becomes very clear. Every thought that goes through in the mind, that comes and goes, we can actually control it. It is actually under our control. We do not have to be controlled by the mind. Unfortunately, today, what is happening is I have no control over the flow of thoughts. And depending on the quality of those thoughts, is the quality of the mind, as we have already seen. And I identify myself so much with my mind that if the flow of thoughts is unhappy, my mind is unhappy, my mind is unhappy, I say, I am unhappy. Isn't it? And this is how the mind is controlling us today. We need to understand this very deeply. Systematically, therefore, we must train and discipline the mind for right thinking and correct, diligent activity. Right thinking is a habit that can be cultivated. Substitution of positive thoughts and flooding the mind with creative ideas are methods by which we can flush out the floor of the mind, littered as it is now with the filth of incomplete thoughts and decaying ideas. Having recognized a thought as negative or wrong, do not waste time in upholstering it to look neat and attractive, but reject it immediately and totally. The power of right thinking expels all false thoughts and induces healthy conceptions, adding to the effectual dynamism in the seeker. This is why we see Hanumana's blessings. In one line itself, Tulsidas says, is Kumati Nivar. It destroys Kumati, that negative thought, those thoughts which are not required. Sumati ke sangi. He is always associated, attached to Sumati. Su is good thoughts. Thoughts that enhance, thoughts that empower. So this is why we pray also. If we understand this, we must use, and as so beautifully Gurudev has said here, the moment you recognize that this thought is negative, or you recognize that it is wrong, let us not, what do? Immediately we try to justify, we try to defend, isn't it? We don't want to immediately acknowledge in our mind that it's a thought, a wrong thought that we are entertaining. We must have courage to do it. We must have the honesty to do it. The moment you do that, otherwise, what are we doing? As he said, we are wasting time upholstering it to look neat and attractive. So this is like probably how I clean my shelf, my table. It's all sprawled paper and pen and books and everything is lying around. When I have to clean it, what do? I take everything down and there's a drawer. I just put everything inside there and shut. Oh, the top looks so clean. But I've been wasting my time actually. The drawer is not clean for me. I just hoping things will, put everything under the carpet and see that nothing is seen outside. We are only fooling ourselves. We need to deal with this. And he says, we must immediately reject it. This is something that I do not want. This is something I'm not going to accept. Immediately and totally. Don't give it like, justify it. Or say that, what if? Nah. You recognize it as wrong. You recognize it as negative. And what he says is the power of right thinking expels all these thoughts. Huh? It is like you are using clean water to sometimes we need to call a plumber, to come and all your pipe and storage, everything is being like, there's all dirty water collected. He just comes and flushes it all out, cleanses it. Then there is a clear flow. This is how we must get it. We always look at external rivers saying these must be clean. We must also watch these flow of thoughts that make up our mind. Flow of thoughts is like water flowing. Who's going to cleanse that? We can keep on saying, no, it was not me, it's not that, it is that, it is that. We defend and justify how we thought the way we thought. Huh? But that's not leading us anywhere. If it's negative, it is wrong, call it that. That is what will bring about transformation, not otherwise. And constantly denying and saying that, because see, each one of us, whenever we act and, we all think we are right in doing it, isn't it? Sometimes we know that I shouldn't have acted like that, but we somewhere defend, justify, explain in our own minds, make it convenient for us to be that way by calling the others, by saying, situation was such, he said this, therefore I did this. Constantly blaming the outside, which is not under our control. But that's not going to get us very far. In life, if we have to really succeed, we must have this thing called mind under our control, and it has to be clear. So let's see. Looking within. Gurudev continues here. Details of the nature of the mind and the various practical means to be employed for controlling it will be discussed later. But first of all, the spiritual student should acquire a knack for looking within himself. So far in our life, we had been blowing our mental world. Thus, just as an infant requires help in learning to see and recognize things, and later must learn to stand upon its own tiny feet and walk the bedroom floor, so too, the newborn aspirant must learn to see and recognize at first the world within, and then learn to walk among the sense objects of the world. Just as the well-fed baby lies cheerfully, kicking its limbs in the air, and smiles and laughs unto itself, all the while having its eyes fixed upon the light of the wall lamp, so too must one learn to go about the business of life and yet uninterruptedly watch the mind. Each thought, word, or deed should emerge from you, bearing the seal of your recognition. Post a portion of your attention as a sentry on the high watchtower within the intellect. Let it be a silent observer of the day-long business in the tumultuous within, and estimate the motives, intentions, and purposes that lie behind your thoughts, words, and deeds. This is introspection. Very beautiful. So we must learn how to introspect. Introspect is looking within. Within is what? Watching your own mind. So, as Gurudev says here, we must uninterruptedly watch the thoughts and the intention and motive behind each thought and action and speech. It should bear the seal of your own recognition, meaning nothing should go. We usually say something, then we say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I did this, I didn't mean to do that. Which means what? It doesn't have the seal of your recognition. You have admitted that it just slipped. It just happened. That's why I keep saying every word, every action of yours, be accountable for it. You should know, you should be conscious of it. You did it? Yes, I did it. You made a mistake? Yes, I think I made a mistake. I may not be willing to admit it. Then I have to watch what is the intention behind not admitting this. Is there some perks that I'm getting? This is the right thing to do. No, it's not. Then let me not defend it. Admit. That is how we learn. And as he says, little bit of yourself only, you must post as a sentry. It's like the guard, taking a salute. All the thoughts that are going, he has to get a salute. Okay, I know. Yes, I know. This I've registered. This I know. Usually, mechanically, we go about. How often are we aware of what all thoughts have gone through the mind? While we are cooking, mind is somewhere. Partially, mind is here. Some flow of thought is going on, but most of the other flow is about something else, which has already reached office, probably. Thinking of people in the office. So, many rivers are flowing together here. The confusion. We don't know which is flowing into which one. And what will be the effect, final result of it? Because we do not acknowledge it. First thing is to bring that much awareness within and introspect. And we must, at the end of the day, as he says, we must estimate the motives, intentions, and purposes that lie behind. Why did we do it? How did we do it? Our deeds, our actions, our thoughts, our words. This introspection is required for a spiritual aspirant. Self-analysis is thus the open door of welcome for all aspirants who hesitate in awe and veneration at the courtyard of the temple, the life divine. Practice introspection as the close of each day. Order a march past parade of the day's incidents, thoughts, words, actions, emotions, and feelings. You stand yourself apart from them and receive the salute, impartially reviewing your thoughts and actions, each individually, in groups, and in the aggregate. This is self-analysis and introspection is very important. Each one to do. If we want to succeed in the material world outside, as well as if we want to evolve spiritually. Introspect, detect, negate, substitute, grow, and be happy. Start today. The tomorrow you're waiting for may never come. In the beginning, the attempts at self-analysis may prove to be very unsatisfactory. Your first few days analysis report may read as a narration of the ideal life lived by some god. Nevertheless, continue the practice. Seek to discover weaknesses, faults, and animalisms in each day's total transactions. This is called detection. Learning to go with it and to be able to detect. As he says, in the beginning, your analysis report will be very good. I did good. I spoke well. This is the matter. Given the situation, I did best. You have to go a little deeper. Because if all that was really good, then you would more often than not, 80%, 85%, be a very joyful, happy, cheerful, full of life kind of person. But somehow people are not attracted towards you this way. You're putting off people. Then what's going wrong? So look, you have to detect. You have to play the detective here. So that's why Gurudev says your first few days analysis may read like a narration of an ideal life lived by some god. We are never wrong, no? But nevertheless, he says, continue the practice. Seek to discover the weaknesses, faults, and animalisms. And this is called detection. Within a week, it will be revealed that after your all yours is not in any sense a godlike. This is true even in some of the best of us. Such dark reports should not in any way discourage. The darker it is, the greater should be your effort at readjusting your values and redirecting your thought process. This is important. Don't let it discourage you. You're not supposed to stop. You're supposed to cleanse yourself because this is the only way forward. There is no escaping this. Let us know that. The inner reformation comes always as a revelation. The moment you have detected the weaknesses and are really ashamed of them, that very moment, those wrong traits die. This is called negation. One has to become aware of this. And like doctors say, the moment you have a diagnosis of the symptoms, that is 50% of the disease cure. If you don't know what is happening, then you are more troubled than when you have detected, because now you know what is the treatment. So like that, you come to recognize, this is where I should have improved. I could have done better, must more. And the moment you become aware of them, in fact, it transforms itself. Yet, this much is only half the battle. In the wake of each victory comes the onerous task of constructive peace. As soon as a weakness is apprehended and defeated, substitute its opposite virtue in your personality. Look out thereafter for its play during each day's dealings, and it will be found to grow and drive soon into a natural character in you. This is called substitution. Don't leave it in vacuum. I shouldn't have done this. Very good, you have detected and you have understood. But you must substitute. What could you have done? And what? So then you know that it's a positive thing. Then let me cultivate that virtue. Let me begin to act that. You can't just negate and keep quiet. Now, no longer I do that. Then what do? Because we all have to act and transact in this world. So how are you now transacting? That's important. That's called substitution. One who thus starts his practice of his personality rehabilitation with diligent daily introspection ensures himself against all future melancholy feelings of futility and failure. Therefore, introspect daily, detect diligently, negate ruthlessly, substitute wisely, grow steadily, and be happy, free, and immortal. Be a God. So beautiful, isn't it? This is not an empty philosophy that Bhagavan Krishna or the rishis have written and speak of. This is for each one of us to put in our efforts and recognize that godliness within us. God is not somewhere sitting out there, somewhere in the heaven, this place called heaven, which nobody has gone to as of now. Nobody has come. If in your mind you're experiencing that fullness, that completeness, that happiness, that cheer, your mind is under your control, you're already living in heaven. And that God is within you. This is what, we always put God far away. Oh, that one is a divine being. I am normal human being, Baba. And we create this gap. Understand? If divinity is within you and we say God is within you, then why aren't we allowing for that God alone to express? Why do we come in between? Just because we do not know. And let's not call ourselves, I'm just a normal human being with all of these weaknesses. These weaknesses are seen in lower beings also. So is this the definition of a human being? When he is capable of so much more, that is the potential within him. That he can come to recognize and live that divinity in this birth as a human. So this is very beautiful, as he says, one who can diligently daily introspect. He ensures himself against all future melancholy feelings and failures. This is the key to success. Your mind is the key. How to keep it pure, strong, isn't it? Just not outside in the world. We miss this most often. Therefore, introspect daily, detect diligently, negate ruthlessly, substitute wisely, grow steadily. Be happy, free, and informed. So easy. So easily said. Lot of effort, which is our sadhana, and which we must immediately begin because the fruits of it is so beautiful. And you will enjoy this journey. That is the rasa, that is the maza of this. Don't keep crying about everything. Discover. Every moment should be a moment of discovery. Your own self. This is the self-unfoldment that Gurudev refers to. Certainly today, your mind orders your actions, and yet the reverse is not only true, but can be highly effectual. Physical pose and poise can generate a corresponding attitude in the mind. Look in a mirror while keeping your face contorted into a sorrowful expression. 2 or 3 minutes. Now watch your mind. Is it not feeling despondent, miserable, dejected? Again, look in the mirror and smile away. After a minute, watch and discover that the mind has caught up with the cheer and ripples away in joy. Try. Based upon such psychological facts, the physical movements and ritualism are conceived and prescribed. They help to bring into expression the correct attitude, bhavana of the mind, the goal of all spiritual practice. So the outside also affects the inside. The inside definitely affects the outside. The feeling of freshness after the bath, the special prayer, the reserved prayer corner, the burning of the soft scented incense, the sandalwood paste on the forehead, the sparkling lamps, the decorated altar of the Lord, the hymns sung, the mantra chanted, the flowers, all these are meant to conduce the correct external atmosphere to create the required mental attitude, bhavana. You see, there was a psychological test done in which this man was made. He was the person on whom it was being applied, the experiment. The psychologist, it was an agreed thing with the wife, with the office colleagues, and everybody. So this person, when he woke up in the morning, his wife saw him. She said, "What happened? You're not looking too good. Are you feeling well?" He said, "I am perfectly okay." After some time, he has had a bath and he comes and she tells him, "Are you sure you want to go to work? If you want, you should rest today. What kind of breakfast do you feel like having? Are you okay to have this breakfast?" They say, "What's wrong? I'm okay." "Oh, then it's okay." But he goes, he takes the elevator down, and the security man asks him, "Sab kuch theek? Aapki tabiyat theek hai?" He says, "Yes, theek hai." He's wondering what happened. Then he goes to the car, the driver, the chauffeur, he has a driver. The driver has also been told. So the driver says, which He says, no, you're looking like you have not too good. He says, no, I'm good. And he goes to work. He goes to the office. His secretary meets him. Good morning, sir. How are you this morning, sir? Not well? So he says, a little tired. Now see what has happened. Can I get you some coffee or something, sir? Because if you are feeling not too good, you should not be working, you should take rest. So now what has happened is he has started feeling, so many people quickly tell him. And then they are going to have a meeting. There again, one person talks to him, sir, we can postpone the meeting if you're not well. And by lunchtime, because of his wife saying, I'm coming home, I'm not feeling well at all. This is what happens to us. No? So we do not know how the inside projects outside. Even see, we look for positive people, positive places around. So how we are inside is what we project out, and how we receive what is projected out by outside people also affects us. We should be watchful of both, not only the outgoing thought, but the incoming thought. Isn't it? So therefore, Gurudev says, how do we say? We say, let's take a bath and then light the lamp, right? And when we do the puja also, fresh flowers, we light the incense stick. So many times, just lighting the diya automatically changes our mood, the outside. Since our mental mood determines our actions, our physical attitude and behavior can, in their turn, induce the right mental mood in us. Of these two, strengthening the right physical habits in us is in fact easier. Thereafter, training the mind becomes simpler and surer. Ultimately, the mind to be tamed and subdued. So, initially, if you want these props, use it. Chant a mantra, light the diya, light the incense stick, sit in front of the altar. Your mind is calm. We must ensure that we is focused completely there, because that's what will show us the way for the entire day. Therefore, let our physical assets of standing and sitting erect at all times begin to play their influence upon the mind. Frequently watch and deliberately straighten the backbone. Let us deny ourselves the tendency to lounge and relax into torpid idleness. When our body is erect, our organs more efficiently perform their physiological functions. Let us carry our head erect, shoulders well pushed back, chest always high, and let us consciously breathe deep. All this affects our mind. Isn't it? Huh? That's why in the ashram, our acharya would always, he would say, I want your backs like exclamation mark. Exclamation mark is straight. He said, I don't want a question mark, I want an exclamation mark. So backbone must be straight always, not when we do this, no, our whole attitude, mood is also so sluggish. And then we pass this on to others also. When they look at us, even they feel tired and bored. And similarly, glowing, optimistic thoughts, heroic ideals, and divine ideals have a powerful and uplifting effect upon the body. Hopeful plans and programs lend a spring to our strides and an attractive buoyancy to our dash forward into the daily fields of our honest labor. We must learn to discipline ourselves to become such actual servants of the community. Life is a long discipline. Constant and alert vigilance over our own thoughts and actions is the price we are compelled to pay for the greater achievements and finer accomplishments in life. Patient self-application with all enthusiasm, in a joyous mood of healthy optimism, is the secret plan of action of all great men. Read that again and tell me if you have known anything opposite of this. If you have seen a successful person, be it a sports person or a film star, or a businessman, any field, not put in hard work and has just got, we can't believe something. It all requires a lot of effort, alert, vigilance, and we have to work at disciplining our. Without that, there is no success. So this is so important. And for us, therefore, we must constantly be thinking with optimistic thoughts. We must cultivate this. Let's read and speak of heroic ideas, people against all odds who have succeeded. We must read about them. We must cultivate their attitude. And hopeful plans and programs, as Gurudev says. There should be a goal, and we should be very enthusiastic about it. Be enthusiastic, be cheerful about life. What to do? Everything is like this only. When you look at them only, how you, why should you be this way? Isn't it? We'll conclude here for today. And then next class proceed from our vasanas, our problems. So a little deeper into why we do this. Complaining, criticizing. Huh? Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.